Hey everybody, time once again for one of our updates. It's Tuesday. I put the regular episode up earlier today, so hopefully everybody's enjoying that because it's like almost 3.5 hours long that turned out.
Yeah.
And we were super inebriated at the end of
Towards
it.
the end, yeah.
Yeah. But, it was pretty amusing.
Well, we weren't going anywhere else. We weren't going anywhere.
That's true. It was Saturday.
What is Saturday or Friday? It was Saturday.
It was Saturday. Yeah, we recorded it Saturday night.
Yeah.
But yeah, today is actual Tuesday, so we're actually doing this on the afternoon of the same day that I'm putting it up. So, what's our update today? You actually went to the grocery store today.
Yeah, I went to the grocery store.
Which one did you go to?
Went to Publix.
Oh, okay, you went to Publix.
I was going to go to
Walmart,
but then started thinking about it. I was like, man, if any place is going to be infected, it's going to be fucking Walmart.
Well, and I don't even like to go to Walmart at the best of times.
Had to get cat food mostly. Cat food and almond milk.
Kitties needed food.
Yeah, so anyway, while I was there, my observations were that there's food in there.
Yeah.
There's food. If you were hungry, you could get anything. You could get something to eat. The delis are fucking rolling, they're cooking chickens and shit. Lots of fresh food. So there's definitely not a supply problem. Now, some of the shelves were bare.
Yeah.
But it was like the canned goods.
I noticed that when we were there several days ago. I was
like stockpiling.
Yeah, I was like pretty much all that I noticed was gone, and we went to Publix. It was probably the same one that you went to today, and this was probably like maybe 6 days ago, something like that.
Yeah.
The only thing I noticed being like really completely almost gone was pasta, like boxed pasta, canned foods. Like there were a lot of soups were gone.
Yeah. Dried beans, peas, things
stuff like that.
Shelf-stable stuff. That was what was going on.
Yeah, but other than that, there was stuff everywhere. Like, the meat cases were still full. I know that some people have said
dog and cat food everywhere.
Yeah, I know some people have said that they were having trouble getting fresh meat, but there was
toilet paper.
Really?
Looked normal.
Yeah.
Looked normal.
They must have got a new shipment then.
Well, at the checkout counter, I was like, they're hitting certain sections and they're just rolling their eyes. Yeah.
That's what I noticed.
Like all the... I went to go find some orange juice, right?
Yeah.
All of the Publix orange juice, which is like $3.50 a gallon, all that was gone.
Yeah.
But they had the $7 a gallon fucking Tropicana.
The Tropicana was there.
I was like, man, I'm not going to pay that.
Yeah.
So I went and I went over to the international section and I got the Goya shit.
Goya. Yeah, because they have all
$1.25. Now, they didn't have any orange, but they had mango and fucking pineapple. And
I like pineapple juice, and we have apple juice that we got at Sam's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Still, right? I can drink. That's a nice thing about drinking vodka is you can pretty much mix anything with it.
So it's not like there's no food. They're hitting certain
things. And that's what people are saying. Yeah. And Publix in particular, they're kind of known for, their deli, their bakery. Yeah. They have like a shit ton. They have like a whole big case of like pre-prepared things where it's like they just have it all like already portioned out like shish kebabs or whatever and you just throw it in the oven. Yeah. And I feel like last time I was there, pretty much all of that stuff was still there.
Yeah. Anything that was like an MRE is gone. Those Dinty Moore meals that...
Yeah.
They're okay. For you guys, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you. I came up on MREs being in the Army and everything. The only thing really special about the MRE is the packaging. Instead of it being in a can, it's in a heavy foil package, a wrapper. That's really the only thing special about those. And in that MRE meal is everything you need, including like toilet paper. People don't think about that. And things like mint chewing gum, because we didn't use toothpaste. They couldn't issue you toothpaste. But they can issue you gum that kind of clean your teeth off. We brought our own toothpaste. But toothpaste would never survive inside of a damn MRE for 10 years or whatever. The company that makes those MREs got into a bidding war with Dinty Moore. And Dinty Moore lost. But they have an MRE. It's a Dinty Moore little food thing comes in a tray. It's got potatoes.
Yeah, that you buy for like your work lunch or whatever. Because I bought a couple of them at 7-Eleven or whatever when I was desperate for food.
Yeah, that's basically an MRE main meal. The portion isn't very big, but I use them like MREs. Like I keep them in packs and fucking bug out bags, and so if you ever have to run, you can just grab a pack and got everything.
Yeah, because we have a vacuum sealer, so he actually has like a whole bunch of. Yeah. Stuff with it. You have ones that have like everything in it, right? That have even have like coffee creamer, granola bars. It's just like it's one package like for everything you're gonna need that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
didn't you do that?
Yeah, I kind of like, but then I broke them down because they're easier to store.
Yeah.
But what because I have my own vacuum packer, and you can get those off eBay for cheap, and then the bags, you know what I mean? It's like a big roll of plastic, but the bag isn't sealed. You can make any size bag you want, and you can vacuum seal.
I used to have one of those at my
I got everything in there, man. Got dried milk vacuum packed. I got dried eggs, dried omelet stuff that you get. You vacuum pack all that shit, man, and if there's no air in it, it'll last forever.
Yeah, you can just eat off that like fucking 10, 20
got all
years
the
from
damn
now.
Fucking cheese cracker stuff. You cut a slot in the bag and then rewrap it and vacuum pack the whole thing. Suck all the air even out of the original package.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna vacuum pack something that's already in a package, make a hole in that package so the vacuum will go in there.
So that air comes out.
So that air comes out.
Because they put a little bit of air in there, which is, because it'll go stale like after not too long.
You can vacuum pack ramen. You can, even though it's not real nutritional,
it's a lot of calories, though.
It's a lot of calories. Well, what it is at that time I was also, whole cans of Spam.
Yeah.
So you just if you take a whole can of Spam and dice it up, put it in the damn pasta, you might feed 2 people. Maybe 3.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Maybe 3 people. And that's a lot of calories. That's like 700 calories a piece.
Yeah.
If it's 2 people.
Which is like half or a third of your calories a day, depending on how many calories you eat.
So, but anyway, the stuff like the Dinty Moore ready meals were gone.
Yeah.
Because other people were hip to that. So they got they're making bug out bags.
Well, like I said, people buy those for work generally, and they'll buy like a whole bunch of them at once and just take one for lunch every day.
Yeah.
And they know they last a long time because sometimes you can take like a shit ton of them to work and like leave them in your desk or your cabinet or whatever.
It's a little plastic tray. It looks like something you get on an airlines, and then you pull the top of it off of it. You know what I mean? It's got a plastic top.
Yeah.
You can eat it frozen. It doesn't have to be heated up.
So it's not that good, but yeah.
Oh man, when you're hungry out in the field.
Well,
man,
if you're really hungry, then anything.
Like one of the best ones that was good frozen I learned in Korea was that damn tuna and noodles MRE.
I can see that.
It sounds terrible, but the tuna and noodles was and ham slice. It's a big old block of ham. When that was frozen, it was all right.
Well, I like
crunch
cold
it and
ham.
start chewing it and be all crispy. It's like something Eskimos would eat.
Yeah.
Like a frozen piece
and
of
like
whale.
I said, some stuff that you can eat cold, like tuna, people eat like tuna salad, like they eat that cold and stuff. And I eat cold ham sandwiches.
It'd be
I
like
like that
tuna
better
salad.
than hot ham, actually.
It'd be like cold tuna and noodle salad.
Yeah.
Like that. It was pretty good.
Which, and people eat macaroni salad, and that's cold, so.
Yeah, but I didn't really sense any kind of panic out there. It looked normal. The traffic was a little tame, but they were still out there buying stuff.
That's what I thought. Like, when I went to the, when I went to the post office, which I guess was, what was that, last Friday? It's Tuesday today. I didn't really notice any different. It's like, other than the traffic being lighter for a weekday, that was about it. Yeah. It's like there were still people. I know people aren't really supposed to be walking around, but I know like people still have to go to work and stuff. Yeah, there's crazy. I get some crazy comments in the damn comments section that reference and other things. There are people profiting off of in different ways, profiting off of panic for this. This is not as deadly as people want you to believe it is. It's the average age of a person that's dying is in their 80s, and they have other complications on top of it. These people were going to die anyway. If you're in your 80s, you're on borrowed time. You just are. Just be honest. You know, their lifespans measured maybe in months or years. They were the people that, even without that virus, a lot of them didn't have long to go anyway. Some of these people that are dying while they're in the hospital, some of them people would have died, you know, with the best medical care anyway. There was nothing you really do. You know, there are some people that are weak and they're just teetering. Every day people die. It's a normal part of life. And yeah, well, like I said, I feel like they may have been dying anyway, and then they get sick and it pushes them over. But this is what I'm trying to say. Collapsing an entire civilization to try to save a small percentage of the people, 1%, 2%, 3%, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. You know what I mean? You don't collapse your own civilization just to save, you know what I mean, a small percentage of the people. Actually, you don't collapse a civilization even if it kills 99% of them, and if 1% survive, you do that, because from that 1%, you can grow another population. It's not extinction, you know? So, eventually what they're going to do is they're going to say, we need the economy more than we need these people. Because if the economy goes, civilization will collapse, and then just millions and millions of people will die.
Because without an economy, without modern technology, you will not be able to support the population that you have. Industry will go away, and then the population level will have to fit a pre-industrial society. And that's a fraction of what we have now. So you're talking about billions of people dying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, yeah. I feel like even now, and it's hard to say like in our area because we're kind of in a suburban, slightly upper middle class area. I haven't really seen that much weird around here. It's just like everything seems fairly normal other than the traffic. Like I go out, in the morning, like to exercise and stuff, and it's just normal. It's like there's people jogging, there's people walking their dogs, there's like people doing regular shit. It's just, it's just kind of weird that, and you go to Publix and then like the whole shelf of pasta is gone, and that's a little weird. But other than that, it's like everything looks pretty copacetic. I know that other cities are not the same though.
I mean, reality's going to come crashing down on these people. People got to eat. They need power. They need food. They need water. You can't just sit at home. Civilization will fall fucking apart. Billions of people will die eventually. So what they're going to do is they're going to wait, and they're going to wait a couple more days probably, and see where the infected people are, how many of them there are. They're going to quarantine those areas, and then they're going to fucking tell everybody to get back to work.
To just go back and do normal shit.
To go back and get to work, because it's not worth it to fucking destroy your civilization and kill billions of people just to save some old people. That sounds cruel, but that's reality.
Well, you can't like leave a whole bunch of working age people
just
and,
at home,
just
and then all the children, and then the future generations, and destroy their future. A good analogy would be the Titanic. You have people in a lifeboat, 50 people in the lifeboat. There's hundreds of people in the water trying to get in that damn lifeboat. If they get in that lifeboat, they'll all die. So what do those people in those lifeboats do? They actually were hitting people with damn oars.
Get out of my fucking lifeboat.
Get out. Well, no, they're the ones that were trying to get in the lifeboat. Because they'd capsize the lifeboat, they'd all die. So, you know what I mean? At least some people would live.
Yeah.
And that's the situation we're in. But we're not even talking about those odds. We're talking about somewhere between 1% to 3%, I bet you.
Well, like I said,
we could absorb those casualties.
Yeah,
that's nothing. Really.
I think what's dangerous, like I said, is people. I'm not saying don't take it seriously, because you should. It's like, yes, don't try not to get infected and try not to pass it to other people if you have it, and blah blah blah. Like, do all that kind of stuff, but also, don't flip out and buy up everything so other people can't have it. Don't.
The system's working. Food's
that's
there.
what I mean. It's like, there's places to get food. I don't. No matter where you live, it's like I don't know if some people like that live in other places that maybe their supply lines aren't as good or whatever. But
I didn't look, but I think McDonald's was open.
Fast food places I've heard are doing really well.
Yeah, I think it was open.
Because you can still do now a lot of restaurants are still open, but they've shifted to delivery only. Like, you can't go in there. You can just like call them and pick stuff up, or they'll
The problem is
they'll DoorDash it to you or whatever.
These people have to get back to work so they can make money to buy the food, and they need to be able to fucking do their rent, and all that money that they need to survive fuels the economy.
That's what I mean. That's more what I'm worried about. I'm worried about, even though we do a YouTube show, like I write books and stuff too, but it's like I have a thing where, my graphic design work has already kind of gone down a lot, because most of the graphic design work that I do is for bands, like for people's shows, like for nightclubs and stuff like that, and all that shit's closed, so no one's commissioning anything, which kind of sucks.
And it's a big cycle. So, it's not just entertainment. It's food. It's shelter, fuel, fucking heavy industry. You know what I mean? Like, are they buying cars? Are they building cars? It's all. Are they building houses right now? And then the people that build the houses, are they able to feed their kids? They can't stay this for long. I predict within a couple of days, they're going to try to figure out where the infected are. They're going to kind of quarantine those areas, and then they're just going to let it ride.
And then just say everybody else
back to work, because they can
just be careful.
Yeah, because it's just like wartime. Some guys are going to die, but most people will live.
Yeah,
it's just like that. You can't sacrifice everyone just for a few people that are going to die.
Yeah,
the human race has to continue. The civilization has to continue. You can't be we're defeated and just be a puss and stay at home. Just can't. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
they're going to tell everybody to get back to work. They tried to hand out checks the other day. They fucked that up. And so what does that tell you? They got to go back to work. Because the Republicans and Democrats are just going to fight. You can't trust them for your own survival. You got to cover your own ass. So if you ask me, I think Trump's going to say, okay, everybody back to work. And a lot of people are going to die, but better than the civilization collapsing. Because if shit collapses and nobody's in charge, then that means I'm in charge. You guys don't want that.
No, you really don't.
You don't want that. I'll go straight Mad Max on you just in a matter of fucking days. When I'm in charge, it's going to be very different.
But yeah, seriously, you don't want that.
No.
So
and I ain't alone. There's millions of me. Millions and millions and millions of me's out there. All ex-military guys. And to tell you, a lot of these ex-military guys don't like you. I hate to say it, but they just see you as weak. You know? And they're like, he doesn't deserve that woman. He doesn't deserve that food. He doesn't just goes back to fucking caveman days. Especially when there's whole fucking private armies of them running around. And that's what would happen. That's what happened when Rome fell. It was nothing but just the remains of the Roman army ran around, and they ended up becoming warlords and knights that fucking founded the damn, medieval era. That would just happen again. Humans haven't changed.
Yeah, not really.
No. We're hairless apes. We're monkeys.
What I was gonna ask you was, we got a new patron named HoboNasty.
Yeah.
And he asked a question on Patreon, and usually I usually monitor the Patreon account, and so you don't have it on your computer and stuff. So I thought you could answer it on the show.
Okay.
So he asked you, is the National Guard a bad thing, and what is it we need to expect from them?
Well, I guess he's talking about some areas must have activated the National Guard, probably like emergency disaster relief. It's just pedestrian regular shit. Usually what they're doing.
They do that in hurricanes,
too. They do that shit all the time. It doesn't. There's this fucking fantasy that there could be like a military takeover. Okay? Yeah. Or that the military can fucking stop in and stop a civil war. That's just fantasy. All of the entire active duty military could not even really maintain security inside of Iraq or Afghanistan. These are little bitty countries. And they were mostly unarmed. America's armed to the teeth. The geography is huge. You just can't secure it. And then all your police are at a bare minimum security level. More like they can investigate crimes, they can write tickets, they can give the illusion that there's security, but there's just not enough cops even. Shit went south real fast. No army could stop it. No police force would stop it. It'd be just like Katrina. So it'd be on you. That's why people are buying all those guns. But it would be on you to secure your family and yourself and your neighborhood. But that's not unusual. There's a lot of countries that are like that. Afghanistan was like that. You know what I mean?
I was going to say,
it's just tribal.
You know what's really weird is that last night when I was sitting around, like I was just watching Netflix or whatever, and the power went out for a second.
Yeah, we were both like, oh,
and we were like,
shit.
What the
fuck?
But
came back
then it came right back on,
yeah.
And then we were like looking down the street, like, what the fuck just happened? It's weird because like a few minutes before that, I heard a really, really bad, like a car screeching like down the fucking road outside, and I was kind of like, I didn't hear a crash. But I was like, did it crash into a transformer, like way on down the road or something like that? Because for a second, we looked out the back door and thought that other people in the neighborhood were out too. But then we looked farther and it wasn't. But it's just, it came back on and we were just like, weirded out for a second. Because it wasn't like storming or anything like that. It's like power goes out when it storms all the time. But yeah, it's just, it was really strange. And we're like, oh shit, that's all we need. Like in the middle of this shit. It's like not having power either. Like I said, we've done that with hurricanes, and that is super not fun. And I would not want to repeat that.
The other day, Trump was in that damn talking to the media, and he says we should. He said the cure to this might be worse than the actual disease. We need to get people back to work to prevent deaths. And the newspaper people are like, what deaths are you talking about? Trump kind of talked his way out of it. He says, well, it'll be suicides and people not being able to pay their bills. That's not what he meant, though. What he meant is that the longer there isn't kind of like an active presence of control, or the longer it seems like shit's out of control, the greater risk of what they would call civil unrest could come about. You know what I mean? It'd be like, well, they're not in charge, so that means we're in charge. So you'd have possibly riots that could turn into revolutions or movements to try to break away from the United States, or to create a second version of the United States in the same way that it happened in the Soviet Union when there were all the breakaway republics. Americans are kind of brainwashed into thinking that that's not possible here because their upbringing tells them that they're special and that America is a special country. Oh, it's special, all right. No, it could happen here too. There's a lot of people that have political disagreements with everybody else. They don't want to be in the same country you do. And all they'd have to do is go run around, be like a damn, get on social media and start making it a cool thing to go run around and shoot the damn Transformers. And it wouldn't take long before the power grid would be down, and the stockpile of all the Transformers isn't enough to replace them all. It takes them a long time to make them. And if they were to actually get that done, which probably wouldn't take that many people, a couple hundred guys maybe, spread out in key locations, probably take them about 12 hours to do it. If they had it pre-planned, like it was a group of guys that were talking about it, they could get it done pretty quick, and chances are the power would never come back on. As soon as the power's out in those major cities, 3 days later, they're killing each other over food, just like in Katrina. And they would never be able to restore order. There wouldn't be enough power to run the system to build the Transformers you need to replace them. And then as soon as you put one in there, those same guys fucking shoot them out again. When there's a will, there's a way. All warfare is basically a battle of wills. Whoever has the most will wins. And the United States has never been able to win against just guys with guns. Vietnam was like that. Afghanistan was like that. Iraq was like that after the fall of Saddam. You know, I'm ex-infantry, and I'm telling you, the ultimate weapon is a man with a rifle who's willing to die. You just can't beat them, especially if there's a bunch of them. Jets are no good against them. Tanks are no good against them. So these people have to get back to work. That's what I'm saying. Or bad shit like that will eventually become an option. It'll be seen as a weakness. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people don't want to believe that, but it's just happened so many times throughout history. It may be in slightly different ways, but that's the pattern. There's nothing special. You know, if there isn't a clear-cut government, then that means somebody else is going to step up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And man, you look at politics in the United States. It's not clear that there is a government, if you ask me. There's no clear leadership, one way or the other.
But like I said, it's, I just don't think it's going to get to that point.
They're not going to let it get to that point.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's going to get to that point anyway.
They're going to get them back to, they're going to get them back to work in a matter of days. Yeah, everyone will go back
to, and I feel like, Americans are just kind of like, yeah, we go through a lot of bad shit and everything like that. But after a while, it just kind of goes back to normal, or it's like a slightly different normal, and everyone's just kind of like, okay, well,
this is going to be a different normal.
That's just how we fucking deal with it now.
Yeah, this is accelerationism.
We're pretty resilient.
This is accelerationism. It has accelerated everything. Like Diamond Comics distribution went out of business, which means that the comic book industry is now gone. Because Marvel needs it, and Marvel was teetering, and DC needs it. Not the movies, but the comic books. And the reason why Diamond closed, and they handled all the distribution. I was talking to my friend about it last night. The reason why Diamond closed is because too many comic book shops closed, so they couldn't keep afloat. And then when this hit, they realized that the comic book stores that were teetering are the thing of the past. So there's no more comic book industry. That's on its way up.
Well, I hope that book industry is still okay, because that's kind of my shit.
Everything is connected with everything else. All right, the comic book industry now can't do print, and it can't deliver print, and it's not economically viable. So they're going to be online, but nobody knows if a $4 online comic book is a viable product. I don't think it is. I think a $4 comic book is fucking crazy. And when I was a kid, they were fucking, 55 cents. When they got up to $1, I remember kids going, what the fuck? $1?
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
That's a long time ago. But now they're $4. So what kid can spend $4 for a damn comic book? And they don't seem to be into that shit anyway. They seem to be into video games.
Well, like I said, comic books are not really the same thing as they used to be back in the old days. Now they're like actual books with like illustrations and shit.
Not the ones they're talking about. I saw them. They're just like the old comic books we had. Yeah. They're thin.
Even so, I don't think $4 is that much for that. I mean, considering, but if you were into it, you would. That's like not even as much as a drink at Starbucks.
Well, they wouldn't sell.
No, I'm just saying. Well,
that's why they're closing. They weren't selling.
I'm just saying it's not that expensive, like in the grand scheme of things.
And if they didn't sell in print, I don't think they'd sell in online.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the market is like for like ebook comic books, because I know a lot of people do those. Yeah. So for a while, like ebooks were outselling print books. Now I kind of feel like it's even. You know what I mean?
Well, they were saying that the writing was shit in the Marvel ones. I mean, they said the DC ones were a little bit better, but most of the money was going to these kind of like custom jobs where they were started up a bunch of money on Kickstarter to get them written. Like the Expendables ones was really good. Sylvester Stallone was involved in that. And I think just in a matter of like a day, they were able to raise like $150,000.
Well, if you're doing like a whole if you want to do like a whole series of them, probably Kickstarter is your best.
Yeah, I don't think it was a series. I think it was a big book.
Like or something like that.
Graphic novel.
Because those take a really long time to do. I mean, Yeah.
It's called Expendables Go to Hell.
Yeah.
And evidently they do. They go to hell.
Like I hope so, because that's what the name of the thing is. Yeah. I just got I got an email from ACX today who do my audiobooks. And they're apparently for the next few months, they're like upping the royalties 5% because they're worried about, creators not getting enough money and stuff. So they're actually giving the creators a little bit more royalties for the next 3 months, I think.
I don't know if I answered the guy's questions. Okay, they probably called them out for like emergency disaster relief, to hand out medical stuff or to give medical treatment to people, to make sure maybe like riots don't break out. Chances are, when it's National Guard, it's pretty damn kind of lightweight, if you ask me.
Well, I think it's just like extra help, I feel like.
Yeah, they're kind of like substitute cops. But I think people have a tendency to kind of like otherize soldiers as if they're an other. They're just American dudes, And worst case scenario, a lot of people imagine them becoming like something out of Star Wars, like the Stormtroopers, where they're shooting the civilians and shit. They don't give a shit enough about that. Worst case scenario, if unit cohesion ever broke down and they got desperate, they wouldn't attack civilians. They just run back home with their weapons. That's what they did in the Soviet Union.
Well, because they all have families.
They all have family.
So
they go back home with their weapons and their vehicles, and they fucking protect wherever they consider to be home, and their family.
Yeah.
And they use a lot of times, like whole countries. That's how they got their military. I think like Georgia started off with. That's where they got their military, because it was all the fucking Soviet Union guys fucking running from their army, and they ran there with tanks and vehicles and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Georgia is now part of the Soviet Union again. No, it isn't. It's not part of Russia anymore. I think it's still independent, isn't it?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I know it went back and forth, but I don't know if it's independent now.
Yeah, for a while, their whole army was basically stolen Russian stuff.
Well, it was just laying around.
It wasn't really stolen because it wasn't the Soviet Union after that. They just took it.
Yeah. Hey, no one's using this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all I've been doing today, I put this show up, obviously. Been watching some documentaries about our next topic for the show, which I'm not going to reveal what it is. The patrons will know on Sunday. And also last night on Netflix, I started watching, everybody had been recommended to me that whole kind of French horror series, Marianne. So I finally started watching that last night. I think I'm 3 episodes in. I think I just started the 4th one. So I probably will review that on the matinee show on Sunday, among other things. I got to find some other stuff to watch too. I think Shudder added some new shit, but I'm not sure if it's new to them. I don't know if it's like new movies from this year. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'll have to look and see what happens with that. But other than that, you got anything else you want to add?
Yeah, people don't worry about it. This isn't going to be as bad as you think. I don't think that virus is not deadly enough to kill enough of us to make a difference.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not really worried about it.
I think in a couple of days, they're just going to say, all right, everybody get back to work. That's what I think. Maybe not places like New York and, like heavily populated areas. But there's going to be places out in the South where this shit won't spread.
Yeah.
There's not enough interhuman contact, you know what I mean? You need those places to keep the system running. And there's still people working. So what's the point?
To me, honestly, around here at least, it seems like most people are working.
Yeah.
Because it seems like most things are still open.
Yeah.
Restaurants are still open. They're just doing delivery or just drive-through. All the grocery stores are still open.
Yeah.
All the, fucking everything's still open still.
Yeah.
So
you might as well go back to work if your job's open.
I would think, like I said, because everybody's going to need some money.
I don't think it's going to make a bit of goddamn difference. Goddamn difference. Whoever's going to die is going to die no matter what you do, I think.
Probably. This is very funny because like several weeks ago you were like worried about you were gonna get corona. Well, no, you like already had corona. So
I've been listening to doctors.
You were gonna die.
I think I already had it already. I think I already had it.
I
think I might have already had it. But I've been listening to doctors. You know what I mean? Actually explain how it works and what the numbers really are. It's not that deadly. I mean, it's just
that's what I was
it's just not deadly.
You. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Like, and they're saying, well, might be 3%. No, it might actually be like 0.1%, because a lot of people get it and they don't even show any symptoms.
That's what I mean.
So you don't know how many people there are.
I could have it right now and no one would know.
Right.
I feel totally fine. A little sleepy, but that's about it.
Yeah, there's going to be extra people dying, but there's going to be people probably going to die anyway.
Yeah. So on that cheerful note, we'll end our little daily show for Tuesday. We will talk to you guys again tomorrow. See you later.